Hello everyone! I was sent this very nice silicone rubber starter kit from Let's Resin. Thank you very much. And it's got a ton of stuff in this little baggie here. There's double-sided tape, plastic gloves, mixing sticks. You also get housing pieces and binder clips. You can just use any kind of binder clip that you have laying around or at any office supply store. I've already put together my housing for one of my brand new blanks that I got from Etsy from D Marie 13. She's always been very good. Had very good products and very good service. I got more blanks from her as well, but I just wanted to do this one for this video because the others I have won't fit in any other holders that I've got. So that big giant coasters, you can get in frame here, which I love so much, and a little dragon because I need more dragon things in my inventory. Don't we all? So I'm gonna go ahead and get right to it. So this Let's Resin silicone rubber kit also comes with these plastic mixing cups and let's see, 1 and a little over 1/3 pound of the silicone rubber itself. Sorry if that was a very odd angle. I'm working with limited space here. I've always got limited space. So the important thing to know about the silicone rubber is it is mixed by weight. It says it on the box and also right here on the bottle. 1-to-1 by weight, not by volume. Let's see. I think I am gonna make this a pretty color. What color am I gonna make? I'm gonna use Kamenbudokai from Eye Candy Pigments. This very pretty pastel pearly purple to color my silicone because I want to. You can leave it, it's not really clear, but it's not opaque either. You can leave it as is if you want. If you prefer to color it, that's fine too, just as long as you don't put too much and inhibit curing. So I'm going to turn my scale on, and if you already have the cup on it, you can see it zeroes out. You remove the cup, well, it's still zero because the cup doesn't really register. But if you've got heavier, like plastic mixing cups, just so you can see here, you put something on it and turn it on, it's already zeroed out. You remove the item, and obviously that's the difference. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. I've got it set to grams just because it's easier. And I've already measured out how much silicone I'll most likely need for this, and it's 100 grams, so we're going to do 50 grams of each. Alright, come on scale, there we go. It's an older scale and I think it's temperamental sometimes. I'd really like to get a more accurate one that can go to like tenths of a gram, but all those I see are either super expensive or they're more for very tiny amounts like jewelry scales, and they're made to not even really go over an ounce, but I obviously need more than that. And there we go with 50. Just gonna get a baby wipe and wipe off this excess here. And then part B, we're going to zero that out again. And part B, I like pouring the silicone from a little bit greater height than I do resin. I don't know why, I just do. When it comes time to actually pour the mold part, you're going to want to pour from a bigger height than you would resin, because that helps keep bubbles from forming within the silicone itself. I don't know if you can see that really thin stream of part B coming out, but the thinner that stream is, the fewer bubbles you get. I don't know why, it just is. Yay, physics! Alright, so wipe that off. And now we're going to mix up the silicone. And I've got a big wood stick. So I've got 50 and 50, so that's 100. That can go away. And now we're just going to mix the silicone. Some wood sticks you need to be careful of, because if there's any sulfur, a lot of wood gets treated with sulfur agents. Sulfur inhibits silicone curing. So thankfully these are just plain wood craft sticks. That's all they are. And you're just gonna mix, 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 just like you would resin. Scrape the sides. And just set it down. The only thing I'm not sure that I'm crazy about is it's really hard to tell when you have the silicone fully mixed together. Like with resin, you can see the striations within it, and you know once those striations are gone that it's fully mixed. This one, it's kind of like, But so long as you scrape the sides and the bottom, and if there's any kind of little indentation in the bottom of your mixing cup, scrape that, get all that unmixed stuff out of there, and you mix for a decent amount of time, you should be good to go. Just scrape the sides. And I'll add in my color in a minute. You don't need a whole lot of pigment for silicone, I think. We'll find out. It's been a long time since I've made a mold. And the last silicone I used was actually, it was also Let's Resin that they very kindly sent me, and it's the green one. I like the green one. Gonna keep mixing, mix, mix, mix all day long, and scrape one more time. And a little bit more. I think that's looking pretty good. Don't know if you can see it at the angle I'm at, probably not. Alright, so that's good. Sorry, my little dog's sneezing in the background. Gonna take... You can always add more color. You can't ever go lighter. Well, you probably can, but it's probably more of a pain in the butt than anything else. Oh, that's so pretty. Mix it a little more, get some of those chunks of pigment out, or more incorporated. Now, if you want to do molds professionally, then you'd need to invest in a chamber, vacuum chamber, not a pressure pot. Pressure pot really does nothing for silicone. You want a vacuum chamber to suck out all the bubbles and all the air before you pour, because, yeah. Alright, so I'm pretty sure got the silicone all nice and mixed. Look at that color. Isn't that color so pretty? Again, that's Kamenbudokai from Eye Candy Pigments. I absolutely love Eye Candy Pigments. And I know I've got bubbles in the silicone. I don't really care because I make the molds for myself. I don't make molds to sell. If I did, I wouldn't. I would have a vacuum chamber. Alright, here we go. Bye, little jackalope. So one trick, like I said, hold it way up. And instead of pouring it directly on, actually, no. I'm gonna do something else. First, I'm gonna do a little bit on top because there's a whole lot of little details in there. And then I'm gonna take my little silicone, double-ended silicone tool that I actually got from Green Ocean Handmade Shop over in Japan. I didn't go to Japan, but I was lucky enough to find out that they do ship to the US. And thanks to Google Translate, I was able to place a couple of orders actually with them. And their customer service was very, very helpful in figuring out how to fill out their form, because there's things with their address form, their shipping form, that we don't have here in the US, and I wasn't sure how to fill that out, so they helped me very much. So all I'm doing, I'm taking my little tool, brushing the silicone over the details just to make sure they get in all those little cracks. And yeah, you can probably see the bubbles, but the bubbles will also rise and disappear as it cures. And I'll clean that off in a bit. Alright, so now so the details are coated, now we're going to go back. When you're doing the main pour, you just pour in the corner at the lowest point of the blank. I really hope I mixed enough. And then you're just going to let it slowly fill up over the mold. That was a trick I learned, I think it was from Smooth On. They make the Mold Star and the Dragon Skin premium silicone that is uber expensive now. I love it, but oh my god, when shipping costs almost as much as the silicone itself, it's outside my price range. But Let's Resin is great for me. I think it's great for anybody who just wants to experiment with mold making, or just wants to make molds for themselves or for friends or something. You know, not everybody has to be a professional mold maker. I think I'd mix just enough. Go me. And just get it all out. Boop, 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 boop. And they always say you're not supposed to scrape out the last of your resin or your silicone. I do, because it's so, to me it's just wasteful. That's why I scrape the sides so often and I mix so often. Alright. And that looks pretty good. I do hope it's deep enough. So, we'll be back in a few hours and see how it does. Alright, it's the next morning. So now it's firmed up pretty good. So now we're gonna undo all the clips and see how it turned out. So even though I use transfer tape to stick my blank to, I still go around the housing with a bead of hot glue just in case there's a leak, because I had that happen once and it was a mess. So, never again. It's probably easier to take this off first. Or maybe not. Well, we'll find out. Oh goodness. There we go. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Maybe. Whatever. I'll take the hot glue off in a little while. Firmed up nice. Not too thick, not too thin. Oh no. Okay. Phew. I got worried for a minute. No, silicone's not supposed to stick to that. Just pop the blank out. Oh, that turned out so nice. That looks so good. All right. Well, I'll trim up the sides, make it look a little nicer, and then I will make a casting with it, and we'll see how it does.